the Virgin Voyages Seriously Rockstar Suite. In this video, I'm sharing with you the helpful things to know with a full tour of this cabin, as well as a review of what it was like staying here. Because to be honest, I actually preferred sleeping here over the massive suite. There are some helpful tips I'm going to unpack for you coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. Support this channel by booking your sailing with us. Not only will you get the best deal out there, but even if you've already booked, price compare your sailing with us to make sure you have a lot of sailor loot on your sailing. It's not too late. More info in the description. Most people miss it. Let's kick this off by talking about the helpful things to know about the Seriously Rockstar Suite. The Seriously Suite is the entry-level Rockstar Suite in the Rockstar Cabins category. And so it's helpful to know that this room will feel larger than a sea terrace room. It's 352 square feet in the Seriously Suite versus on a normal sea terrace, again, non-Rockstar, right? We're talking 185 to 225 square feet, depending on where your room is located on the ship, because some of them are odd sizes. So it is helpful to know that the Seriously Suite will feel larger, but it's not this tremendously humongous room, but it does have those nicer finishes, and most importantly, it's got that Rockstar bed, which is more comfortable than the sea terrace room, but a helpful reminder that bed does not split. The Seriously Suite is the most popular Rockstar Suite on the ship. Why? For two reasons. One, there's the most number of them. There's 24 Seriously Suites on Brilliant Lady, on Resilient Lady, and on Valiant Lady. And don't forget, Scarlet Lady, the first lady ship, has gone into dry dock. So she had some upgrades and some changes. And so they put another 24 of the Seriously Suites on this ship. So there's double that number, right? So you have the most number of these suites. And so it makes it popular because there's just a lot of them. The other thing that makes it popular is, given it's the entry-level Rockstar Suite, it's the most affordable in the Rockstar category. So if you're interested in trying to go Rockstar, this will be the lowest price point room that you'll be able to book your sailing at. I'm gonna add the caveat of usually, because you never know. So sometimes weird things happen. All right, anyway, normally, it's the cheapest one. One of the things that you will just love, or at least I really love about the Seriously Suite, is the location. These are centrally located rooms. And that's just always a great thing, because we always hope for smooth sailing and you just never know what you're gonna get sometimes, right? Like sometimes it's just rocky seas. But the Seriously Suite location is centrally located. It's on deck 12 on all the ships. And then with those additional 24 Seriously Suites on Scarlet Lady, now we're talking about deck 12 and deck 11. There's two reasons why this is a really great location. Hey, by the way, if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and tell me in the comments below when you're setting sail. I would love to know. Book your sailing with us. And even if you're already booked, make sure you got a lot of sailor loot on your sailing by price comparing it with us. It only takes a minute. More info is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. One is that you're high enough up. In other words, you're not close to the manor, you're not close to the loud things that are happening on deck 7, or you're not near the red room, or you're not hearing the sounds from below. And then the second reason is because you're not hearing the sounds from above, which is great. You're not going to be right underneath the gym. You're not on deck 14. You're not going to be right below the pool, right? You're not on deck 14. You're not going to hear the sounds from the dock because you're not in one of the suite aft or in the cheeky corners. You are centrally located. I'm just not gonna lie, I love this location. So I had the massive suite and a Seriously Suite at the same time. And I loved hanging out in the massive, but every night I slept in the Seriously Suite because there was just no movement and no noise. And it wasn't creepy large. I actually really loved that. I'm embarrassed to admit this. I'm just gonna put that out there. So let's talk about that size, because it's important, because there are a lot of misperceptions about going Rockstar. People just assume, I'm going Rockstar, everyone come hang out in my room. Like, I have a bar, like let's all hang out and sit on the bed. Which is kind of weird, right? Because you have a standard size sea terrace, more or less. And it's just not that big of a room. And so if you have a bunch of people in your room and you're hosting them with your in-room bar, it depends on your relationship with those people, right? Like if you're all good friends or you're a bunch of girlfriends late night having champagne, like, it's great. Like we can all hang out in the bed. But if you're, you just met some people and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a drink in my room. And like, it's just kind of weird to sit on someone's bed, especially if you have snacks and you're hanging out and eating because you get unlimited ship eats, for example. It's just one where there's a lot of misperceptions around people hosting, and the room's not as large as most people think. This room is the perfect size for a solo sailor or a couple. Again, don't forget that the beds do not split. There isn't a way to put another bed in the room. So a lot of besties will book their sailing, book this room or bid on this room and realize that they need to create a pillow wall between them. And oftentimes it works out just fine. And other times it's a really big surprise for people once they get onto the ship. So something to be aware of. I loved this room as a solo traveler. Why? Because I could see everything in the room. When you stay in the massive suite, for example, there's just, I don't know, it's just too many rooms and too many doors. I don't know how to explain it. Let's go through a walkthrough tour of the room because it might be helpful to just ground yourself in what's available to you. When you come in, you're gonna see the vanity, and it's always nice to have that floor to ceiling mirror as you're getting ready, and also that kind of lighting when you're sitting down to do your makeup or just getting dressed or whatever it is. And then you have that comfortable Rockstar bed, right? Single mattress and also more comfortable than the Sea Terrace bed. You have all the nice finishes in the room and it's just really comfy. You also have that large closet space to be able to put all your belongings in. And then you also have your in-room bar. And you can work with your Rockstar agent to be able to replace or change what's on the bar. This is something that's happening when you get onto the ship and when you go to meet with your Rockstar agent. So generally this is happening once you are on the ship. You have your in-room fridge with more drinks available in there that's stocked by your Rockstar agent. And you also, you have lots of perks. Make sure you watch the perks video. Tons of helpful info in there to help you to understand all the perks of being a Rockstar. The Rockstar bathrooms are just nicer bathrooms. They have nicer finishes. They have that humongous shower, right? And you have your plush Rockstar robe and slippers. Just a really nice addition that really does help you to feel like you are a Rockstar or a VIP on this sailing. The next thing to take a look at is the balcony. So your terrace has your single hammock and then your table and chairs, and it just depends on which ship you're on. Some of the chairs are a different color. I don't think that's neither here nor there, but helpful to know. But you have your balcony space. There is one thing to be aware of that upsets some sailors, and I want to make sure I walk you through this so you understand what you're getting yourself into if you choose to go this route. But if you got some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to check the info in the description. There's an entire Rockstar playlist, and book your sailing with us. We really will help you to get the best deal out there, and plus you got 2 experts that are here to help you to have the best cruise vacation. I have sailed Virgin Voyages. We have collectively sailed Virgin Voyages more than 50 times. It's a lot of sailings. One of the things that we can help you with is making sure that as you book your Seriously Suite, you're put into one that's a great location, which for this room category is relatively easy, but also helping to guide you on the right choice. Because if you choose to bid on a Rockstar suite, you might be put in one of the accessible cabins. And this is just something where it looks a little bit different than the other suites. And it's something where, depending on how much you bid, some people are unhappy with the cabin that they get in the end. It still gives you those Rockstar perks. It still gives you everything that comes with your black band, but it just gives you exactly that, an accessible room. And so understanding whether or not you should make the bid, that's something we can help you on. But this is the Virgin Voyages Seriously Suite Rockstar cabin. Tell me what you thought of it in the comments below. I'm Christine Lozada. Join me in the next video in this Rockstar playlist, and I'll see you over there. Ciao.